Coming to you from the Lydia Media Studios in the heart of Lewiston, Auburn, it's Lydia's Lunch Bunch, LA's afternoon morning show with Mark, Sarah, and Pam. We're covering news and events in the greater LA area and talking to the people making a difference in our community. Give us a listen at LydiaMediaLLC.com or wherever you get your podcasts. And feel free to share your comments, questions, or suggestions via email at podcast@LydiaMediaLLC.com.
Today's show is brought to you by United Piping, serving residential and commercial customers with new installations and repairs. Call today and schedule your oil and gas boiler cleanings at 754-4556. UPI,
the best plumbers around.
Nailed it. And by Ruper's Beverage and Redemption, when it comes to beer, wine, and spirits, don't botch it, squatch it. At 5 locations in Lewiston, Auburn, and Oxford. Learn more at rupersbeverage.com, and remember, the party starts at Ruper's.
Our guest in studio today is President and CEO of the LA Metro Chamber of Commerce and fellow podcaster, Shanna Cox.
I love the way our lives intervene.
Good morning.
Good morning. Happy New Year. It's my first chance to say it to you and your listeners.
I know.
Happy New Year.
It's
We're
been
halfway
forever.
through the month.
I know. Well, for those who are trying to get through January, let's just Happy New Year.
Yeah.
It's like a fresh start.
Every
Because
day.
everyone wants to start January over.
No.
No, I know. It's awful.
January
I'm
can be
sorry.
done.
Yes.
Yeah. March can happen any minute.
Yeah.
Anytime now.
Anytime.
Snow or full spring. Let's stop with the in-between. That's what I want.
Yes.
And Shanna has a new friend.
He's so squishy and
Joining
cute. I love him.
It's a squishable lamp that Sarah got me for Christmas. And now Shanna's having some fun with him.
He's just great. At
we
some
should
Be
point,
able to focus.
We should make sure that he makes it into the photo today.
yes. At some point, you guys are going to add a video feed.
Yes.
And I'm
Yes,
going to
we
have
are.
to. I'm going to have to behave in a different way.
Yeah.
But until
Us
then,
too.
love this lamp.
Yeah, he's so
Maybe
cute.
we'll start the video feed without you knowing.
Oh, good.
I think that's illegal.
Aren't there laws? Yeah, thank you.
I don't think that's allowed.
Yeah.
Oh, we're supposed to follow those?
Your Christmas present is great.
We should mention it's a capybara.
It's a
as
capybara.
It's a
well.
lamp, you guys.
It's a lamp. So Mark got me a capybara that is squishable for Christmas as well.
Squishmallow.
It's like a squishmallow capybara. I'm obsessed with them. I just think they're the cutest things.
They really are.
Look how cute he is.
He's really cute.
And capybaras are friends with all animals. Like, they just don't.
Can you domesticate them?
Yes.
She's researched it.
I've already got plans to steal one from a zoo somewhere. Like,
I just heard disappointment in your gift, Mark. Like you didn't get the real one.
know.
'Cause they are possible to be domesticated.
it's a big ask. I wouldn't have expected that for Christmas.
You got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
I do anticipate that you will be on my Alpha Wolf Squadron team when I go into the zoo and steal
Absolutely.
one. Okay, great.
Absolutely. I can't wait.
I'll drive the getaway car.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll take pictures.
Yes, yes. You can be the watch guard. You and Lydia can be like bark, bark if something's happening.
Somebody's got to put it in the digest.
I was like, somebody needs to document it for posterity's sake.
Take a picture for out and about.
I look forward to this issue.
Out and about at the capybara heist. Let's take a look at some headlines for Tuesday, January 14th.
The state of Maine is deploying 8 forest rangers and 12 volunteer firefighters to help battle the devastating wildfires in Southern California. The fire has destroyed approximately 40,000 acres in greater Los Angeles, and high winds are complicating containment efforts.
Senator Angus King is co-sponsoring the Healthcare Affordability Act, which aims to permanently extend enhanced premium tax credits that expire at the end of this year. If they expire, the premiums would increase by over $1,000, and an estimated 3,000 Mainers would lose care.
The Sun-Journal reports that Andrew Lewis of Auburn was elected chairman of the Androscoggin County Commissioners. Lewis defeated Brian Ames of Lewiston in a 4-3 vote. He replaces Sally Christner of Turner, who declined to run for another term.
The Lewiston Fire Department, Central Maine Medical Center, and Endwell Health Partners are offering a free car seat safety inspection. The event will take place Thursday from 2 to 6 p.m. at the fire station at 55 North Temple Street. No appointment or registration is required.
Open enrollment for Maine's online health and dental insurance marketplace ends tomorrow. Thus far, 63,000 Mainers have signed up for coverage, which begins on February 1st. For more information, visit coverme.gov.
Here's Pam with the weather.
Cloudy today with a high of 31 and a low of 22. Sunny tomorrow and Thursday with temps in the teens and 20s. Snow is on the way this weekend.
Yay!
Want to talk about sports?
Let's talk about sports, baby.
Baby.
Let's talk.
You guys are on fire today.
I think that's our new thing.
I love it.
Hey, the Bruins are going to host the Tampa Bay Lightning tonight at 7.
Can they go for 2 in a row?
I sure hope so.
They're gonna try to extend that winning streak.
That winning streak.
Double it.
The Celtics visit the Toronto Raptors tomorrow night.
On our high school scoreboard in girls basketball, it was Durigo over Oak Hill 44-19. Edward Little beating Lewiston 75-16, y'all.
Ouch.
Ouch. And Winthrop giving a similar beating to Lisbon at 77-22.
In boys hockey, it was Lewiston over Wyndham Westbrook Bonnie Eagle 5-2.
And in girls hockey, it was Gorham, Bonnie Eagle, Massabesic, Freiburg, Lake Region, Westbrook over St. Tom's 6-1.
That is your news, weather, and sports. And right now, it is time for the podcast segment that is sweeping the Twin Cities. It's time for famous people birthdays.
They're famous. It's their birthdays. It's famous people birthdays. It's famous people birthdays.
Let's take a look at FPBs for January the 14th, shall we?
Okie dokie.
Alrighty then. Pam, nothing?
Yeah, hey, this one's actually
It's not
good.
bad.
This one's on
It looks
fire
like
compared
quite a
to
haul.
usual.
Yeah. We're going to start off with Dave Grohl of the Foo Fighters
that guy.
and Nirvana, 56 years old today.
Wild.
Wild.
Soon to be a new dad, right?
What?
Is he? Oh, with his mistress? Mm-hmm. Oh, there you go.
Oh boy.
Yep.
All right.
So disappointed in Dave Grohl.
That's how
Two
we're
things
rolling
to
with
celebrate
Dave
this
It's
Grohl.
his birthday, and that's what we're going to talk about. Not about his.
Wow. Did you see the
music
look on
career.
Sarah's
I'm
face?
so disappointed. I've
Yeah.
always loved him so much.
Yeah. Well, that's why you don't get too involved with these people. You can appreciate what they do.
Yeah,
but, I mean,
great
as far as
musician. Great
Hero
musician.
worship? Come on
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Rolling Stone ranked Dave the 27th best drummer of all time. And he is a 2-time inductee into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as part of Nirvana in 2014 and the Foo Fighters in 2021.
Nice.
There you go. That's it for Dave. Let's see.
Moving on.
Jason Bateman
Oh, one of the Batemans.
is 56 years old today.
Yeah.
I remember him from Arrested Development.
Yes.
He was on that forever.
He's so
Ozark
funny.
was so good.
Yeah.
Ozark?
I didn't watch
saw
Ozark.
You didn't watch Ozark?
No.
Did you watch Ozark?
No, but he was just in a movie that someone recommended to me that you would really enjoy if you had low standards. Was how it was couched. But it was it's like a kind of like Die Hard. It was a Christmas airport movie.
Oh.
Oh yes, I've seen the
Carry
previews.
over.
Carry on.
Yeah.
Carry
I've
On.
seen the previews, and I saw someone post about it. Way too much suspense. I can't watch suspense anymore.
Yeah, that's fair.
Give me familiarity.
Yeah.
I heard it was I heard it was a good holiday watch.
Oh.
Mama said knock you out. LL Cool J
Oh,
is
yes.
57 years old today. One of the OG rappers from back in the 80s and 90s.
So far back.
Turned actor.
Turned
I was
actor,
gonna say,
yes.
do we even know him for rapping anymore?
Right?
Like, he's
Oh,
more
I mean,
in the.
I grew up wearing one
Right.
pant leg up and one pant leg down, so I recall him in his rapping years. I do like his transition to television.
Yes.
But.
He did a movie with Robin Williams that I absolutely love called I think it's just called The Toys or Toys. I can't remember, but it's so good. It's like one of the best movies that I've ever seen of Robin Williams. And it's one of those silly ones where you're like, well, this is just silly, but it gets you in the feels. It's
Gets you right in the feels.
really good.
Those ones
I
that
don't
sneak
think
up
I've
on
seen
you.
that one.
Yeah. Yeah. He plays his brother. He plays Robin Williams' brother.
That was an obvious
Okay.
cast.
Wow.
Yeah.
I remember
You
him
should see it.
for
It's really good.
acting. I remember him in Any Given Sunday.
Oh,
Remember
okay.
that
Yeah.
one? Yeah. In 2017, he became the first rapper to receive the Kennedy Center honors and was inducted into the, get this, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in the musical excellence category in 2021.
Interesting.
Yeah, just stop it.
Just stop
it. You know. Yeah, we're going to put LL Cool J in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame while Social Distortion waits on the doorstep. Stop it.
This sounds like a letter in the making.
Yeah. Zach Wilde is 58 years old today, lead guitarist for Ozzy Osbourne and Black Label Society. Director Steven Soderbergh is 62 today. He directed the Oceans trilogy.
Yeah.
Oceans 11, Oceans 12,
13 too?
Oceans 13,
Oh, good.
and in the works, Oceans 14, Electric Boogaloo.
Oh.
Is that real? Oh.
He also directed Erin
love that
Brockovich with Julia Roberts. Singer Jeff Tate of the band Queensryche is 66 years old today. People may remember him from
Haven't heard that
back in
name
the
in a long
80s.
time.
Yeah. And rounding out FPBs for January the 14th, legendary actress, just keep those wire hangers away from her. Faye Dunaway
Good Lord.
is 84 years old today.
What hasn't she been in?
I don't know.
I
So good.
loved that movie.
Yeah.
Just so interesting to
Mommy
me.
Dearest.
Yes.
Yeah. She was also Bonnie in Bonnie and Clyde with Warren Beatty.
Yeah.
And I just found this out, was married to lead singer of the Jay Giles band, Peter Wolf, for
wow.
5 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
What stage of life was that at?
What decade were we talking? What decade?
I was trying to find the right way to ask that.
Yeah.
When?
Anyone who saw the movie Mommy Dearest will never, ever forget her performance. They said she was more Joan Crawford than Joan Crawford.
I haven't seen it.
What?
I know.
Oh, wow.
What? Pam gets so upset.
I was really hesitant to say it out loud because I felt like it was going to get that response. Yeah. Sorry. I'll put it on the list.
Okay.
She's not somebody who does a lot of public stuff either.
Right.
I was just
Yeah.
reading she very rarely gives interviews.
Did you find out when she and Peter Wolf were married?
I shall.
Yeah,
I
let's
shall
do that.
Look it
That's
up.
what started the rabbit hole.
Yeah, no, let's find out. Married to Faye Dunaway in 1974 and divorced in 1979.
Wow. So that was 50
Stop counting the
years
years.
ago. She was 34
Yeah,
when
see?
she and Peter Wolf were married.
That's a reasonable time frame for a 5-year marriage.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, mid-30s.
That tracks.
Checks out.
Yeah,
That tracks. All right.
Yeah.
Those are your FPBs for January the 14th.
Whether you want a sit-down meal or a grab-and-go, Pat's Pizza in Auburn offers delicious sandwiches, pasta, salads, and pizza at family-friendly prices. Pat's Pizza, serving the L.A. area since 1985. Open daily from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. at 85 Center Street in Auburn. Online at patsauburn.com.
Don't miss the January issue of Uncle Andy's Digest, featuring Greater Lewiston Auburn's 30th annual Best Businesses for 2024, plus a Valentine's Day gift guide, events calendar, shout-outs, and plenty of one-liners and jokes guaranteed to put a smile on your face. And be sure to visit UncleAndys.com and enter to win the Sweethearts Contest. You and your sweetie will appear in the February issue and could win a Valentine's Day gift basket. Uncle Andy's Digest, your local guide to, well, just about anything. Now we shift focus fully to our guest in studio, Shanna Cox, President and CEO of the LA Metro Chamber, who is sitting here with her light up capybara.
I'm keeping it lit, too. I just want you.
Her emotional support capybara.
Yes, really. What a great gift, Sarah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I saw that on the Instagram and immediately needed to get that for Mark.
I don't think she really got it for Mark.
No,
That's why I keep it here.
It's not really yours?
I wanna light up his life when I'm not here.
That makes sense.
I'm sure that's exactly what does it, Sarah.
I love him.
I don't know. He seems to be bringing Shanna a lot of joy.
I'm so joyful. So joyful. It's almost as good as a fresh snowfall.
Almost.
We know what to
Brings me
get
joy.
Shanna for her birthday.
Yeah. I love that.
Shanna has been in the news recently, but before we get there,
Yeah.
let's talk B2B trade show.
Yeah, so we have our early bird pricing ending this week, and I want to call attention to the trade show. So the trade show is it's a little bit of a full circle moment for us at the Chamber with the trade show. So its history started with LAEGC, the Lewiston Auburn Economic Growth Council, way back in the day. It used to be held at the Colisée. It's been at the Norway Savings Bank Arena, and went to Travis Dow and Dow Media for a number of years when there was a period of transition, both at LAEGC and the Chamber. And we worked with Travis last year on the trade show, and at the kind of end of the season, he asked if we would consider taking back the trade show to maintain its presence here in Central Maine. And I would say it was an easy yes, but I have to be honest, taking on a trade show is no small endeavor. And so we did talk about it, but the importance of having a business-to-business trade show in Central Maine, not just for our businesses, but for businesses across the state to do business with each other and to do businesses with our own businesses here in the LA region just felt too important. So we're excited to have it back. I think it's something that we want to see people support. There's some elements that we're kind of adding to the trade show this year. So you'll see some fun, different things. We'll have some learning and breakout sessions for folks who can maybe take one of the folks at their booth and trade out to not just do some very kind of intentional networking throughout the day, but also some learning, which is, I think, pretty exciting. We'll have a killer happy hour. So it'll be a really great day. We'll be posting information about individual tickets. Right now we're booking the booths for the show. So March 27th does feel like it's coming right up.
It does.
Yeah. At a time when doing business with other businesses has become really e-commerce based, I think it's really important to still just one day a year hold a little space for connecting in person and remembering the people on the other end of the phone or the email that you're doing business with, but also meeting some new people that you don't just run across in your inbox. So we're really excited about it this year, and we're really proud to make sure that it still has a presence in this area.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Same venue?
Yeah, yep. Norway Savings Bank Arena.
Right on.
Yeah, we're really looking forward to it. So mark your calendars. For those of you who don't own a business, or your business isn't the type for a booth, but you're looking to do business with other businesses, save the date. We'll get you information about tickets.
Perfect.
Sounds good. Explore and Discover Guide. It's time to put that thing together,
it's
isn't
the
it?
kickoff time for it is. The Explore and Discover Guide is getting some extra attention this year, which we're really excited about. So every year for the last 4 years, we've done an Explore and Discover Guide, and it's a kind of half, Pam, queen of all things print media. What is the size of my Explore and Discover Guide? It's a half size compared to yours,
so
right?
5.5 by 8.5.
Yeah, thank you. So it fits in the glove box. It really does allow you to explore Androscoggin County and even a couple of day trips from here. So a lot of chambers put out a chamber guidebook, and this crazy thing called the internet and Google did away with the need for a localized version of the yellow pages. And so it kind of fell by the wayside as a project of the chamber. And we revived that really to make it not just a visitor's guide, but a relocation guide. We've had 9% population growth in the last year here in the Lewiston and Auburn region. Yeah. And so making sure that we're both supporting kind of talent attraction efforts, and then also folks settling in and then choosing to stay here once they've made the decision to take a job or move here, join their family, felt like a really important tool in our toolkit for workforce and for businesses. And so the Explore and Discover Guide it's a really fun read, I think. Obviously a little biased, but it's organized as a stay a day, stay to play, and stay a lifetime. We recognize that folks aren't planning their 7-day vacation to the greater Lewiston Auburn metropolitan area.
What?
Yeah, I know. But maybe they should. But we want to be realistic about what we are, what we have to offer, and who we can market to. And so, we really target people who might be adding a day to their main vacation, stopping here on the way back from Bar Harbor or from Canada, for example. Folks, and this is actually a really large segment, and we learned this through doing weddings. So there's so many people here who go to school, leave the area, they come back to get married. And we think it's a really great time to remind them and their guests about all of the wonderful things in this area. So the stay to play section is like, if you're here for a long weekend, here are some things that you might do. Here's what nightlife opportunities there are. Here's how to check out some kind of cultural attractions in the area. But the latter half of the book is really more about what it is to live in the region. So it describes each of the communities within Androscoggin County. They're kind of organized by school district. We find that that's really how people are making choices about where to move and where to think about. So it tells you a little bit about the towns, tells you about the median income, the median age, rental and mortgage prices, home values. So really gives you kind of a lay of the land. And we print 15,000 of these each year, and between 6,000 and 8,000 go to large employers who are actively mailing them out as part of their recruitment efforts for talent. So it's a really great way to get in front of people. But more importantly, all of that, for those who, I know it's not in this room, but for those who question print media, we also bring that content to discoverlamaine.com. And so we've done that for a number of years. This year, we've got more than 6 figures spend planned on both marketing Discover LA Maine and its content, and boosting our talent attraction effort. So you'll see marketing campaigns starting this year going through the next 2 years that's promoting this area, not just for visiting, but for relocating. And so The Explore and Discover Guide is a really important tool in that. And all that is to say, pick one up. You should be able to find one almost anywhere. The new ones come out in May, just in advance of the tourism season. So we're putting that book together right now. But get your ad in there, too. It's a really great way to reach people. It's an important economic tool. And a little side note about that. So I have a bunch of 20-year-old sons, as it turns out. But one of them in particular, I'm in Tucson last week for work, and I bring my guidebook home. I share it with my family, like at the dinner table when it's, release day. And my son texts me out of the blue and says, "Mom, I really love the Explore and Discover Guide." And I was like, "Thank you, son." He's like, "You do that?" I was like, "Yes, I do." I'm surprised because we've covered it before. But contextually, he was like, out somewhere, saw it laying next to him in the waiting area, started reading it, and was like, "Oh, this is really good." I was like, "Thank you." So, kid approved.
That's cute.
That's wonderful.
I thought it was hilarious. Yeah, you just
funny.
never know.
You can tell them all day long, but until they
You got to find it on your own,
Yes.
right? Because if you put it in front of them,
Yes.
it immediately loses value. So anyway, it works.
We saw your picture in the Sun Journal recently.
Yeah, that was a fun couple of days there, wasn't it? It's
What did you call it?
a kerfuffle.
Kerfuffle.
It was a little bit of a kerfuffle. Love the opportunity to talk about that. Thanks so much.
Of course.
Yeah. So, what people might not know, and I'm going to preface this because it's going to become important and relevant in a minute. My degree is economics, right? So I have an economics degree. I regularly watch economic trends, and oftentimes, 90% of the time that I am called to speak in front of, a crowd of more than 5 people, what I'm talking about tends to be very targeted to a specific business or a specific cause. And more often than not, I am called in to be a cheerleader and somebody who kind of like preps or warms up the audience for somebody who's speaking about some type of content. Happy to play that role. I think it's really important and I love it. It does not mean that I don't have a little bit of information of my own, right? And so I follow data, I follow trends. I'm looking at local, state, regional, national, and global economics. Like, that's how I relax at night before bed. So pretty up to I might be a nerd, but I'm also pretty up to speed is the short version of that. So I had the opportunity to sit down with Chris Wheelock from the Sun Journal, who's a journalist that I really respect. He's the business beat reporter, so I tend to work with him a lot. And he had asked me if I could, on the one day in the holiday break that I was in the office, if I would do an interview that talks about kind of a 2024 retrospective and looking at 2025 for our local economy. It was an easy yes for me. That's a conversation I just enjoy having. What a tightrope walk of an interview, right? Like, it was a hard year for 2024, and the changing of the calendar, it's January, doesn't make 2025 super easy, where we already have a trend that we're kind of dealing with. And there are a lot of really great economic indicators that are a little more mid-range and longer term. There are a lot of reasons to be optimistic about the future of this region. Even just, what was it, Sunday, I think there was an article about the most amount of building permits, both in Auburn and Lewiston. And that is such an important, it's a key economic indicator that one should be watching, because it sets up so many other kind of underpinnings of the economy. But the biggest benefit, not the only, but the biggest benefit of all of those new permits for housing and for expansions for businesses are realized, anywhere between 8 and 18 months after the permit's been issued, when there's someone living in the new housing and spending their money locally, and when the business has hired more people or is doing more business because of that expansion. But the benefits don't come just from the permit being pulled, right? Anyway, have a really great interview. I feel like I'm, being both authentic and realistic and offering some good data points. Then I fly out for a trip, and so I'm in Tucson for work, and the article gets posted. I go to read it. I have to log in with my credentials. I'm a happy Sun Journal subscriber, happy to do it. But the headline is, LA business leader and chamber CEO optimistic about 2025. And for most people who do not have a login, they don't get to read the content.
Right. And to preface that, locally we had 3 or 4 closures of small businesses leading up to that.
Well, and I would say 2 announcements happened before my interview, and then 2 announcements happened between my interview and the article actually coming out, right? And so it's a challenging time, and I would say there's a couple of particular sectors, hospitality top of the list, that are struggling for very good, very economically valid reasons right now, who no amount of 2027's looking really good helps a business who can't make it for 2 more months based on what their revenue is today. Anyway, huge disconnect between the interview content and the actual headline. Yeah. But because 98% of the readers online where it was posted weren't getting past the paywall, I just got so beat down in the comments section. It was a good debate.
And it's frustrating too, because people are so quick to comment, even not reading it. Just they feel like they know the article just by the headlines. And like you said, it was a huge disconnect from what the interview actually was in the headline. And people were just assuming something. And that's frustrating in itself. So it is what it is. I mean, that's just how it goes. But you have to think about that before you're feeling like you're making a intelligent comment.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's how a lot of people read the news too. But anybody
it's just headlines.
Yeah, anyone who knows you personally would know that you're a champion of small businesses in our area, and that you, in all of the years that I've seen you do interviews, I've never known you to be tone deaf to what's happening around you. So it was. I don't read comments. I just read the article and I was like, wow, this is a great article.
Yeah, if you made it past the heheadline and even into the second paragraph, I think it was pretty compelling after that point. But
it's a great article.
It was, I mean, I'm used to taking heat, right? Like, it's not an uncommon thing, but just that particular one, I was like, there's really good content underneath the headline. If you would be able to. Please. So we did manage to get the paywall removed. And
that's good.
It was one of those few times that, and you guys, all three of you have public personas, right? Yeah. Like you're known to people as Mark, Sarah, and Pam. And then you are also like those real people who, have partners, go home to pets and have a life outside that. And run businesses, right? And so there's this weaving that one has to do when they're in that role. And so I very intentionally chose to wade into the comment section, period. Took a pause before I decided, like, this is worth it, and this is the way I'll do it. Yeah. And did it as Shanna, and not through the Chamber's account, which I thought was also really important. I had a couple people, many people reached out to me by text who were like, bless you for getting in the comments. You're brave. Also, I'm not sure why you're doing that. And I hope you're okay.
What are you a glutton
That was the summary of like 20 texts I got in a 4-hour period when that first posted. I mean, I chuckle about it. But the reason that I am really happy to be talking about it is because I'm a firm believer that like the best lessons are the ones that are learned the hard way, and that anything is good that ends well. And what I saw happen, because I definitely had some people reaching out being concerned about like, maybe you should, ask for the article to be taken down or the paywall to be removed, which I did. And that one was successful. But, maybe you should not wade in. And at the end of the day, what happened in the comments section was other people, business leaders and regular citizens and residents who took the time to read the article, reiterating some of those points and acknowledging the hardship that I was really very honest about in the actual content of the article. And it ended up creating a really great dialogue.
Oh, good.
Yeah, which so I felt like the education and the learning and the opportunity to say like, no, business is hard. And one of the hardest comments to read, because there's truth to the criticism that they put on me, was, wow, she just thinks everyone should go out and eat out 2 or 3 times a week and that it's on us to save local business. And the reality, and what many other people in the thread pointed out, is like, yeah, kind of is. Actually, if you love that restaurant is there for you to remember that was where you got proposed to, or that you like to celebrate your kid's birthday, or that's where you take your parents for their anniversary, and that really matters to you and you want to be able to do it next year on that special day, you can't wait till that special day to support them. You actually have to go in a couple times between now and then.
Right. Yeah.
You love a local coffee shop because it's really important to you on Saturday, but you go through the corporate drive-through every single day other than that. Yeah. Then you're surprised when the coffee shop's not open on Saturday. Like, no, we all have a role in supporting local businesses and seeing them thrive, particularly when one sector is having a tough spell.
Right.
And hospitality all of their reserves were eaten up. They had just come out of the pandemic, right? I mean, they were just finding their footing again when October 25th happened, and it just so significantly disproportionately affected hospitality. Yeah. They're like, yeah, there's never been a better, it's dry January. Go get a mocktail or go get a beer, right? Like grab
some chicken wings.
Yeah, you know, I mean, it's never been more important than it is right now. Yeah. And for those longer term thriving economic, honestly, I truly believe that we'll have a strong and thriving economy in 2027. You will see a vibrant and more diversified hospitality sector. I think the amount of people who are going to move into the amount of housing that's in the pipeline, the shifts that creates across all kind of class and affordability layers of our housing, owned and rented in this area. I think you're going to see really positive things come from that, and it will have a ripple effect to all of the other places that people support in the course of a day. But man, the folks that we love right now, if we want to see them be part of that scene in 2070s, it's because you're showing up today. Right. And so that comment both like hit, because I know some folks are really struggling. I know what my grocery bill looks like, right? I get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you gotta be intentional about supporting. And we had such behavior shifts during the pandemic, you know, that really just changed how we live and how we work. And it's kind of resorting our economy and where we spend our dollars and our habits. And yeah, if we want to see people that we really care about, both the people who own the businesses, and for me, I think that's the privilege and the heartache of my job,
right?
Is that businesses aren't a logo. Businesses aren't the sign on that road. It's not my, favorite place to eat. It's all those things. But it is like, I know who owns that business. Right. I know the struggle that they're going through. I know that they go to sleep at night with the weight of the families that they're supporting by staying open and their employees. Business is about people. And I think, for a period there, business got a bad rap, right? Yeah. And business, particularly in this area, 70% of the businesses in Androscoggin County employ 10 or less people.
Wow.
They're small business.
Small
SBA
businesses.
calls a small business 500 employees.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, right. And so and we have, maybe 24 employers that are SBA small or larger in the area. Most of the people that are employed and working for like an actual small business where somebody goes home and talks about to their spouse or to their kids how they're going to make it through the year, what decisions they have to make. Do they raise the price of the hamburger because beef prices are going up, or do they keep it low because they don't want to lose their customers? Those are real conversations people are having around dinner tables, not in corporate boardrooms, every day. And most of the people either own that business or are employed by that business. And so, yeah, supporting local is about supporting people.
One of the things that I love that came out of this article was, and this is something that this area has always had, is businesses supporting businesses. And something I saw was posted by another business owner who just produced a list of like their 10 favorite places.
I'm going to call her out, Sasha Verneke. Yeah, she's incredible. I loved that. I loved getting tagged in that thread and immediately was like, I'll throw $25 into this and make it a challenge because they posted, her and Jamie Lynn got together and they have, business relationships, but they're just two women who really care about our local business scene and show up in very real ways all the time. And they put together a top 10 list with like beautiful images, kind of pictures that you could see in a carousel that like, here's 10 businesses that we want to support this month. Here's a paragraph about them. And if folks go and I think it's pretty easy to find, it's both we shared it from the Chamber's Facebook page, but over the month of January, if you visit any of those 10 businesses and post a photo of you in that business, in that thread, you'll be entered to win. And since I've said I'll throw a $25 gift card and a $25 donation because the warming shelter, which please don't go and take your photo at the warming shelter. They're busy. They have things to do. So I'm going to a donation of $25 to the warming shelter and then a gift card to somewhere else on the list. So that has been matched, I think, a number of times over right now.
Fantastic.
And so... And it's just a reminder that like, no, each one of us has an action, like an easy everyday action that we can take to just lift up another business. And like, maybe you can't afford to do all of the things. And I don't expect that folks can, but it doesn't take a lot to promote their content, to share, to talk about it, to check in when you're there and let people know and be part of the marketing and advertising for these businesses that you support. Like, I went here and had the best whatever, best time, best meal, best drink. is some of the best marketing that businesses can't pay for.
Right.
We can't pay for that. And it has got high value. Like when you are making a decision about the new place to try or where's the best French onion soup in town, you're going to ask your friends.
Gippers, by the way.
Yeah. Thank you. I love a good French onion.
They have a great French
A couple of
onion
us keep a list at home of just like our rotating French onion choices. That's why I use that as an example. We're big fans. But like there's something that each of us can do. And so out of that really disconnected headline came a lot of really good learning and dialogue. Yeah. And then action, right? Like, so people are actually being, I do have a role and I do care about, and I didn't realize it was that hard for people. And I think, as I did that interview with Chris, and then as I watched the fallout happen online, part of what I think is a really challenging piece of my work and a handful of others is naming that there's something to be concerned about and asking people to join in and supporting it without ringing the alarm bells that all is doomed and you should, abandon ship. Like there's a line there. And just to be really clear, I think that we are in a good spot, headed to a great spot here in this region. And that doesn't mean that there aren't some bumpy spots in the road. You can't let just people think everything is okay. And it's fine if you go to Portland the next 3 date nights and then in May you'll come do something here and home. Like, don't wait. Yeah. Don't wait. And that's an important message for people to hear and to be thinking about as they plan their Saturday excursion or their Thursday night dinner. Yeah. And so I'll take heat for sharing that message anytime because I think it's an important one.
I think you're right. Good stuff came out of it.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
And I'm somebody who likes to take an artsy photo of her coffee and post where she is pretty frequently. So
I love that.
That's a way to support small business, just like you're saying. So.
Yeah. I need to do better at it. I will be honest.
Because you go everywhere.
You're out and about.
We're out all the time. And that's why I kind of feel bad that I'm not taking those photos and posting them. But I'm honestly a pretty private social media person, especially, the past year or two. So I just, and the energy. I'm just like, I just want to eat. I just want to.
So my problem is I remember to take the photo and the plate's massive. There's many photos of me being like, this was great. I can't show you, but look at my crumbs.
Here's some chicken bones.
Yeah, but the minute I leave the office, sometimes I'm like, okay, I need to be present because I am so pulled away so often. So when I'm out, I'm like focusing on trying to be present. So it's kind of like, I do need to be better. I want to be better, but we at Uncle Andy's, with Uncle Andy's and LA Metro both, and honestly the Lunch Bunch, we know full well that small businesses are also supporting our small business. Our advertisers pay our rent, pay our salaries, pay all the things, and we do the best we can to help promote them because they are what make us revolve. So we want to help them do better. And so I do have a responsibility and, want to do better at it.
To a meta level, because like you surviving in your small business, I want you to survive in your small business.
Well, thank you.
Right? Like just in general,
it'd be weird if you didn't.
Keep paying salaries. I think that's important. But your particular business, right? I want to see every monthly Uncle Andy's. I want to see every quarterly LA Metro come out and talk about all of the great things that are here. It is an important piece of sharing information about this area, about helping support a narrative that I think is both authentic and positive about this area. That's your business is a vital business to support the full cycle, right? And so, and that's true for so many.
Right.
So I just, I think sometimes when people hear like, support my small business, I think sometimes people feel like they're being like marketed to or targeted or like it's a sales tactic. And it's like this small business supports the local softball team. This small business has, does a day a month of volunteering at the Humane Society. People don't realize how interconnected the social and economical aspects of our community are and how it's like just an engine that keeps chugging together because it's all. So I want to see your business be successful.
Yeah. When we tried like, hey, let them know you saw this business in Uncle Andy's. So it's kind of like you're supporting the businesses that are supporting us, but also let them know that you saw it in the digest so that they know that it's kind of like this full circle
do that.
thing.
And I think it makes me a mildly annoying person to go out with because Like, you can ask my kids, they will tell you. I'm the person who, like, in a busy restaurant, not at the beginning, but when I'm leaving, I will quietly wait until they are not dealing with the person on the phone and the person that they're about to see, and then I'll lean in and say, thank you so much for being a chamber member, and I saw you in Uncle Andy's. Bye.
Perfect.
And then I'll boot out, because I think it's actually really important for people to know why you're showing up and supporting them.
Yeah.
And I don't mind waiting in line to tell somebody who, like, it's a hostess and they don't care. I'm like, tell somebody. Bye. Bye. It's fine. It's fine. But, like, I make a point to do that. Yeah. And I think someone probably appreciates that. It makes me feel good.
I think right now our focus too is really on hospitality, because that does seem to be the area that's struggling. But remembering that small businesses include, like, your appliance repairmen and places like that, because right now I need to have my refrigerator fixed. The options are going to be pretty limited.
Yeah.
So if I don't find that little guy who can fix it, he's probably not going to be around next year if somebody else needs him.
Mark's going to get like 4 emails like, I can fix this.
Forward them. She'll appreciate it.
I would appreciate it. But just little things like that. Don't forget your lawnmower repair guy, your appliance repair person, your pet groomer. Like, don't forget those people are small businesses too.
Our security company at the chamber who runs our alarm system is like a 2-man show.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
Great Falls.
And yes, and he never doesn't answer.
No, he doesn't.
Weird times, weird issues, and he is
always.
Hi, Shanna.
I think, and I think that's part of it too. People get a misconception on what a small business is.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. Well, the general public doesn't know the language of margins, right? So, like, if you have a conversation with somebody like, "Ooh, that's an industry that works on a tight margin," they understand what that indicates, but not what it means, right? And, like, no, if you how's your grocery bill looking? That is part of the expenses of something. You know, a lot of core expenses have risen, and in some for the repairman, the cost of food is not affecting his business model. It's affecting his personal finances, but that's not
gas to travel from place to place to place.
So many things have gone up. I mean, for us, it's printing. Like, printing has almost doubled for us. Do you think we've doubled our ad rates? Absolutely not.
No.
We can't pass that type of increase.
It's too much.
We've had to find creative ways to, make it work.
We just don't pay Mark anymore.
Well, that's probably where I would have taken the first cut. Would you like your happy bear back?
Do you need him?
Mark's a volunteer. He comes in for the capybara.
He's here for the capybaras.
Locally owned and locally focused, Lydia Media celebrates the heart of the greater Lewiston-Auburn area through 2 magazines, Uncle Andy's Digest and LA Metro Magazine, and the new Lydia's Lunch Bunch podcast. Each production shines a positive light on local businesses, nonprofits, events, and individuals making a difference in our community. Keep your advertising dollars local and position your business in front of your target audience with Lydia Media. Learn more at LlydiaMediaLLC.com. Shanna, we know you're on a tight schedule. You have to get out of here. Do you have time for a quick 3 random questions?
I love a good 3 random questions.
Okay, good. Okay. I know that you do, so I didn't want to...
Don't ask me about what I would be as an animal again. I'm still taking slack for that at home.
All right, Shanna, what do you wish you had more time to do?
Oh, that's a great question.
No qualifications on that, right? Like, just for whatever.
Don't make it a Sarah question.
Yeah, sorry. Okay. I'll be a little more reserved. I wish I had time to learn and practice a musical instrument. Like, if I had unlimited time and all the other things that I should be doing, because, by the way, I'd like to read more and all, but one thing that, like, I never get to on the list in any amount or capacity is I'd like to pick up a musical instrument again and not be embarrassed to tell someone and show them if they asked. It feels like a lot of time would be invested to get there, because it's not like I haven't tried over the course of my life. I've just never succeeded.
Any particular instrument?
Well, if I went back to something that I spent the most time with, it would be clarinet, which I actually played for 3 years. The one that I enjoyed the most, and I think was actually maybe the most proficient at, was steel drums. I played steel drums in high school, and I played the tenor. And so the tenor is actually a series of 6 drums that you stand in the middle, and there's only like 3 or 4 notes on each. And So to play that instrument's a really physical experience. Like you have to move your entire body in rhythm with the song, whereas like the soprano and the alto drums is just one drum and you're just moving around the face of the drum. You physically have to move your body to be able to play. And it was a really enjoyable experience. I would say it's not an easy travel instrument. I don't know where I would put 6 55-gallon drums in my house, for example. So it's definitely a wish list item, but that was the one I enjoyed the most. And the music that comes out of steel drums is just like...
It's lovely.
Yeah, it's just, you can't... I mean, I think like my kids played string instruments and like they can be a very melancholy experience, very enjoyable, but very melancholy. And like, there's just joy in steel drums. Like you can't play a sad song in my experience. Steel drum.
You could start small. Are you aware of the local Tympanic, the local steel drum group? They take everyone. They teach everyone.
Well, that's the kind of group I need to be a part of.
Yeah. You should check it out.
I will check it out because with all the extra time that Mark is giving me this question, I can't wait to do it. But I miss creating and making music. Yeah. Most of my creating time is very kind of like linear brain work.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Pam?
What is a simple pleasure that you absolutely love?
Oh, my morning coffee on my porch.
Oh, yeah.
Like it does. Listen, folks. I know it's cold out.
It's peaceful.
If you know where my house is, which is not a tightly held secret, not that I advertise it, but like I probably don't have the right security settings. You could probably find me, which is terrifying. You will find me on my porch drinking a steaming hot cup of coffee and watching the sunrise every single morning.
Hearing the birds, and the quiet, and the city waking up. I'm with you.
I love that, and it's just
that I am out there with you.
It's my favorite point no matter what kind of day I'm facing, how late I went to bed the night before, none of that matters for like 10 minutes and 6 ounces of my life. And I will take that. It just is a great way to center. And like, no matter what you're facing, the world is so much bigger than any of us individually. And it's really nice to take a minute to remember that every day.
Sure. Yeah. Sometimes I'll get up early just to know that I'm going to be alone with my coffee.
Peaceful. This time of year at like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, you can still see such a good array of the stars too. Yeah. It's so nice. Yeah. I love that. My question isn't creepy or crazy this time.
Okay. I'm disappointed, but go on.
Well, sometimes it's about having hands on your feet and feet on your hands, which is kind of weird. Admittedly. So what was your first and favorite, 2 questions, what was your first and what was your favorite video game as a child?
Okay, so not counting the Oregon Trail in school?
You can count that.
Because, I grew up in a very rural area, so we didn't have access to a lot of tech, believe it or not, or cable Still, there's no cable in my hometown. You have to have satellite.
Yep.
So, and we were poor. I didn't have computers and I never had a console at home until I got them for my children. So I think the first thing that we played on a computer at home that I enjoyed was Carmen Sandiego. In the world is Carmen Sandiego. Yeah, that one. Tetris. Yeah. All-time favorite.
Yeah.
All-time favorite.
Me too.
And I think one of the reasons that I enjoy camping so much is it's like a applicable real-life version of
putting it together.
Like, where do we get this to fit? And how will that relate to the other boxes that we're taking? So I love Tetris.
Nice. Good answers.
Right. Thanks for your time today.
Thank you. I always appreciate it.
We always appreciate having you. And especially now we can get back in the rhythm. The holidays are done.
Yeah.
2025 is here.
Yeah.
We'll see you every couple of weeks.
I love that.
It's going to be good.
Right. Yeah. Sounds good. She is Shanna Cox, President and CEO of the LA Metro Chamber. And if you'd like more information on anything Shanna talked about, you can go online to lametrochamber.com. Thanks to our sponsors, Ruper's Beverage and Redemption and United Piping. And if you'd like to be part of the Lydia's Lunch Bunch advertising family, reach out to Pam via email at pam@lydiamediallc.com. We have the Maine Nordiques coming in tomorrow. Whoop, whoop. Thanks for listening. Catch you tomorrow.